Hi everybody, welcome to the family table. This is our first episode in a series of dinners, desserts, and things that bring everybody to the family table. Family table has changed in the last few years. People are busy, they're running around, but the family table is important. Years ago, my family table was 6. Now it's just me and my husband. Sometimes it's at the breakfast bar, sometimes it's in front of the TV watching the news. But it's always about what you've done today or what you're going to do. It's about conversation and the family being together. So whatever your family table is, whether it's the dining room, the breakfast bar in front of the TV, it's important to continue. I would like to welcome you to my home and how we're going to put some meals on the table for your family. Hi everyone, welcome to the next edition of the Family Table. Today we're going to make seafood Newburg Supreme. It's a nice time to make it. It's spring, Lent's in the air, so why don't we do a seafood dish? What we're going to do is we're going to start by just crushing some crackers. I did crush up some crackers here earlier, but I do need some more. So let's just make sure your crackers are all crushed up. You're going to need 3 cups of regular crackers and then a cup of cheese crackers. That would just add some nice flavor there. So let me just get this going in this measuring cup that I have ready here. So we have already crushed up, let's see, yeah, about 2 cups. So we're going to need another, at least a cup of regular crackers. I like a buttery cracker, so you can use whatever is your favorite. As long as it's like a buttery cracker, I think they work best. So just put it in a Ziploc bag, close the bag, handy dandy rolling pin, and just smash it. If you want, you can take your frustrations out on something. You can think these crackers are whatever you want if you don't want to think they're crackers. So just make sure that they're all crushed up. I think this will do it. If not, I do have another pack right there. So let's get this in here. Let's see, what do we have? Oh, we got 3 cups exactly. So now we're going to take these nice cheese crackers, and again, whatever cheese crackers out there that you enjoy, just use those. I need another cup. If it's a little over a cup, don't worry about it. You don't want to just have a couple of crackers left in your bag. So go right ahead and put a few extra in. So we're going to just crush this right up. Here we go. That out of the way. So now we have a total of 4 cups of crackers, all crushed, ready to go. What we're going to do with these crackers is now we're going to melt some butter. You're going to melt a pound of butter. Everything's better with butter. If you're a little health conscious, and some people are, you most certainly can use margarine, but go for the gusto. Use butter. So we're going to go over here to our stove. Get this one out of the way. I'm going to use a smaller pan right here. I'm going to melt it on low. There we go. Yeah. And we're going to take 4 sticks, pound of butter, just melt them, because what we're going to do with the butter is we're going to add them to our crackers and make a nice crust with that crackers. It's going to make a crust and it's going to make a topping. So now I also leave my butter out, especially if I know I'm going to use it. If you're really going to use it for baking, you do want to work with soft butter. Unless you're making a pastry or a dough, you do want to use a firm butter. Now you just get that in there. Butter does not have to be refrigerated. I remember in the, I'll say it, the old days, my mother used to have the little butter dish on the counter. It was always really melty, but She always had the butter dish on the counter. So we're just going to melt the butter down. Then I am going to add the crackers, and we're going to have a nice crust and topping going on. Just make sure this is melting. You don't want to put it on too high because butter will burn, and you're not here to brown your butter. You are just here to melt it. So don't let it boil or anything like that, and just kind of watch it. Make sure we do not have our butter boiling or getting too hot. The butter will brown. So once we get it at that point where it's all melted, we're going to incorporate the crackers in with the butter, and we're just going to set it off to the side until we're done with the rest of the dinner. Now, let me get this. It's almost all set. So, melt the butter. Butter's pretty much all melted. We're going to put our oven on so it can preheat. It'll be a 350-degree oven. Put all those cracker crumbs in there. And what we're going to do is just mix it. And if you missed a few crackers, just break them up as you're going. And then once you get it all mixed, you can just shut it off and just leave it sit there until we need it for our next step. Oh, I'm getting crackers everywhere. Okay. Here we go. So it's all mixed up. Our cracker crumbs are all set. I'm just going to remove it off the stove. And we're going to go to our next step. There we go. I'm going to leave that on because I'm going to be needing that again. Just going to put that on low. Now we're going to get the seafood ready. I'm going to get some scallops out. We're going to cut up the scallops. I got some shrimp, and we also got crab meat. So let me just get that out of the fridge. These are nice fresh scallops. Doesn't matter, you can get them frozen. You can, whatever you want to do. So I got these nice babies, look at them. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut these a little bit smaller because you want to have a bite of seafood in every bite of your Newburg. You don't want to just have just scallops in your mouth. Well, some people may want just scallops in their mouth, but we're not going to do it that way. So I'm just going to slice these up. Just quarter them. Just going to quarter them, I think. Now you can get smaller scallops, you can get little ones. They're bay scallops. You can get large sea scallops. You just need to cut them up a little bit more. They're very kind of sticky. So there's a pound of scallops. And what we're going to do is we're going to get the scallops going first because the scallops are raw. I ended up buying shrimp that was already cooked. And it had the tail on, but I cut the tails off earlier. And if you have shrimp with tails on, you just pinch it and it comes right off. So I've already prepped that, so they're all ready to go. Once the scallops are cooked, I will add the shrimp and the crab meat. Now I do have to tell you, crab meat, you can use crab meat, lobster. I inadvertently got regular crab meat. I should have got lumped crab meat. But irregardless, it's crab meat. And again, you can use imitation crab meat. That, it doesn't matter when you're doing a Newburg. So here we go. So now I have the scallops done. And what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to put it in the pan with a little bit of olive oil. Roughly 2 to 3 tablespoons. So we want to get that pan going. You want to get it hot. because we're going to saute the scallops. So 1, 2, 3, there we go. If you're unsure by eyeballing, just by all means use a tablespoon to get the right amount in there. So I'm just going to get that to get a little warm. I'd rather have it hot. So these are with the shrimp. I bought a bag of shrimp. It was already cooked and it had the tails on. So what I'm going to do with this one is I am going to cut these up also. So pretty much going to cut them, dice them, slice them. I just want everybody to have a bite. So I don't want to make them too small, but I also don't want them too big either. So we want to make sure everybody gets a bite of scallops and shrimp, and when you see the crab meat, everybody definitely will get a bite of the crab meat. So we're going to get this all cut up for you. And then let me check that pan. And like I said, they came with the tails on. I just popped the tails off. So they were all set. Oops. I'm going to now cook the scallops. So I got my pan hot. I'm going to just get them in there. And we're just going to sear them. Saute a little bit. I'm going to add the shrimp. And then the crab meat. Now, the crab meat, like I said, I bought cans. You can buy cans. You can buy imitation. You can buy lobster. You can buy the real thing. It all depends on yourself, right? So this is what we're going to do with this. And get this in here. The crab meat now is in a can. So I bought these cans. You need a pound of crab meat. So we're going to get the cans opened up here. Oh. And this is in water, so we're going to drain it. We don't need this extra liquid. So I got a handy dandy strainer right here. Don't forget to put your cans off to the side so you can recycle them. Recycle everything in this house. Now this is a recipe I actually got from my mother-in-law, Bernadette. And this is something that she would make during family gatherings. Christmas Eve, New Year's. Whenever we were going to get together, this was her potluck meal, which we were all very happy to have. So I'm doing this in memory of my mother-in-law. She passed away 2 years ago. We miss her dearly. Most of all, we miss her cooking. Now, we miss her and all her jokes and everything else that she brought to the table with us. So we'll let that go a little bit more. I'm just going to not rinse it, I'm just going to drain it, and I'm just going to add it to the shrimp. So when I put that all together in the pan. So now this is all set. I'm going to get rid of this cutting board and just rinse this off. Now, we are going to take the soup. It's going to be 2 cans of cream of shrimp soup. The original recipe calls for cream of shrimp soup. Now, the thing about cream of shrimp soup, I couldn't find it. I've checked 4 different places and nobody had cream of shrimp soup. So I guess there's always Amazon, but I couldn't find it, so we are using for today 1 can of cream of chicken and 1 can of cream of mushroom. So we're going to get these cans opened. We are going to get it in this bowl. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill each can with milk. That way you can get the little bits that you left behind. And that's the measurement for the milk. 2 cans. Just going to leave that like that. The scallops are looking good. Nice little, yeah, just a couple more minutes on the scallops. Then we'll add everybody else to the party. I'm just going to grab some milk. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to put the milk in. Pretty easy. The can. And you don't have to fill it all the way up to the top. Just fill it. Stir your stuff a little bit. There we go. Get that in there. And what you're going to do is you're just going to incorporate it. Mix it all up. Okay, we'll just get this out of the way. Now the scallops should be all set. Oh yeah, they are. So now we're just going to throw the rest of the seafood in. Remember, the shrimp was already cooked. I bought pre-cooked shrimp. The canned crab meat, obviously you don't really need to do anything much with it. If you opened it up and added a little mayonnaise, you'll have a crab meat sandwich, right? So all I'm going to do is warm it all up and incorporate them all together. So we're going to mix the crab meat, the scallops, and the shrimp all together in here. There we go. We're just going to let that sit there for a couple minutes. There we go. Get this bowl out of the way. We're going to just make sure the soup and the butter's all, the soup and the milk's all mixed up. Okay. I tend to make a mess when I cook. Now we're going to add 3 tablespoons of cooking sherry. Three tablespoons of cooking sherry. Okay, now this is all set. We are now going to mix the seafood in with the soup mixture. I'm going to put it all in here. Everything goes into the pot. I like these bowls. You can put your little thumb in there and hold it. Nice bowls. There we go. Now we're just going to mix that up. Let that sit there a minute or two. Just warm up a little bit. We'll get this bowl out of the way. Now, we are going to take this casserole. It's a 13 by 9 inch casserole. You can do whatever casserole you like. If you really want to do a pan, I like doing ceramic or glass casseroles. Those are my favorite to use. We're just going to put it non-stick cooking spray. We are going to take I'm going to take our crumbs, our cracker crumbs, and we're going to just put half of them in the bottom. Half of them in the bottom. And use your hands. Push it down. So you're going to make like a little crust with your cracker crumbs here. So you're going to put a little bit more. There we go. That's good. So half of them goes in the bottom of your dish. Okay. Now we take the seafood. We are just going to pour that right on top. And try not getting yourself all splattered up, if that's all possible. Just going to get this all in there. Now, you're just going to put the rest of the crackers right on the top. This is going to go into a 350 oven, preheated oven, and it's going to cook for a good 30 minutes. You'll know you want it nice and bubbly and yummy, but at least 30 minutes. You know, everybody's oven's a little different. Mine pretty much cooks on point, but every once in a while you really should check your oven to make sure your oven is cooking on point. Just stick a thermometer in it, an oven one, and just double check, because sometimes you think you're putting it on 300 or 350 and it's definitely not registering that. So it's a good idea every once in a while to check your oven and make sure it is doing what it's supposed to do. Now I'm going to put this in the oven. It's 350. It's already been heated. If you're putting this in a shallow one, put a little pan underneath, because you do not want it dripping. Oh. Well, I would put it in the oven, but I have to move my rack. So if it's a shallow one and it starts bubbling, you would probably want to put a cookie sheet on the bottom. Now, some ovens, you cannot put the cookie sheet directly on the bottom. So, you know your oven, check your oven's, the manufacturer's directions, and just make sure you don't want to ruin your oven because you wanted to make dinner. Put that right in. There we go. That's going to cook. Now, let me just wipe off this little mess I got here. Maybe it's a big mess, but let me just clean this right off and get this going here. So you can serve this as a potluck. You could serve it as dinner. It's up to you. My family always does it as a potluck. But just to show you what we can do, I got this nice packet of rice. It's the things they make. I'm going to pop this in the microwave for 90 seconds. And you're going to have a nice package of rice. So you're in a rush, you pop that in the oven. You want to do this way, or you want to make some steamed rice, even mashed potatoes. We've had it before where we just make nice white rice, put it on the plate, and pour that seafood Newburg right on the top of the rice. So while that is going on, I am going to show you what it looks like finished. So let me get something for the counter. We'll use this right here. And this is one that I did make earlier. Oh, here we go. Should I take this out straight? This is seafood Newburg. I made that a little earlier. And you want it to just sit for a little while. You want it to cool it off just a tad bit, just so it can get all settled together. And let me show you. We're going to get some plates and a spoon. And a dish for the rice. So who would have thunk it back then that, you know, you can have nice rice in 90 seconds in your microwave. So as you can see, it's a nice melty kind of dish, and we're going to just take it and scoop a little bit out right now. You could put more crust on it if that's what you want. You can, or not. Look at that. I do like the crackers though on the top, I gotta say. That's almost one of my favorite. I like that little bit of crunch when you're eating it. Look at that, rice. I'm gonna just take a little bit of rice. We're gonna put this in this bowl. And you know what? So what? It took you 90 seconds to do it. Who cares? Get some rice, put that in your plate. On the side, steamed vegetables. You have now got yourself a nice dinner. Wouldn't you like to put that on your family table?